Emotionally unavailable.
Okay. Well, welcome back, Katie, to Emotionally Unavailable. I'm so excited. So I saw on your notes, you said it's Leo season. Let's talk about visibility.
Yep.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I looked at that because I was like all excited to talk to you. And then I was like, let me go make sure she didn't say she wants to talk about something specific. So I'm glad I looked because sometimes I don't. I love to talk about visibility as a Leo moon myself. So, really quick though, I want to know a couple of things. Has Mercury retrograde fucked with you at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in Cancer and I'm a Cancer rising. So I
Oh,
basically have had, I don't know, an identity, death and rebirth every day.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
It's a crash out season.
No kidding. But I'm kind of wondering, based off some of your social media posts just in the last couple months in general, have you been going through the shit? Like, just, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's lots of layers and levels that we've been moving through for sure. With a bunch of other astrology that's impacting me right now. But I think the interesting thing about Mercury retrograde, I learned recently that a lot of people think that it's only one day. That's not, it's like 3 weeks long. And it happens 3 times a year. And how it feels depends on like what element it's in. So we're in right now a water element Mercury retrograde, and that's what the whole year is going to be, which is your inner landscape, your emotions, and how you process stuff. So, this one, I feel like people were sort of taken by surprise a little bit with thinking, oh, it's going to be, you know, a little bit longer if I travel somewhere or like tech difficulties, which still happens. But the water ones I find hit people a lot harder because it's going through those like realizations that you have about yourself, or it feels like the universe is showing you such a stark contrast in something in like a very aggressive way that you can't ignore it. It's like, it shows you how good it can be and then also like how not good it can be. And you're like, ooh, I've been in limbo on this thing for a hot minute. I can't ignore it anymore.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
because it's
And
so
my natal
emotionally
Mercury
charged.
is in Cancer. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why it
Yes.
hit so much
This,
harder, but I've never gone through such emotional shit during a Mercury retrograde before. I mean, yes, I've had my tech shit, don't play. I had
yeah.
a whole quarter of an episode. I edited up until that very last little bit and I was like, everything looks good, post it. That quarter, the guest sound is out. My camera cut me off for 2 whole episodes, like little stuff like that. But that was like after about the midway point, I think. And then, because I got cocky, someone on TikTok was like, oh my God, you guys, Mercury retrograde hasn't been that bad for me. I was like, me either. For the first time in a really long time, it hasn't. I was like, oh my God, me too. And then that happened. And then also just like deep despair for like
Yeah.
hours to where I had to be like, okay. There's way too much happening in the sky right now for me to lean into this. I'm gonna back
Hmm.
out and what do I need for the next hour to not feel like the last four? And
Yep.
then let me just get some clarity on what I was feeling. Oh,
Yeah. I've
yeah.
thrown myself so many little pity parties, or my friend Bunny likes to say, like, when you're in that sort of like the depths, and you have to go to the depths to then again see that contrast, right? If we're
Yes.
like living in this autopilot, you don't see the spectrum of what
Mm-hmm.
you're moving in and moving through. So she likes to say, when you're in that, treat yourself like the tiniest little baby, and like all your needs get to be met, and you don't have to apologize for asking for help. Like a baby doesn't ask for help, they just cry until someone helps them, right? So like throw
Yes.
yourself, I love a bathtub pity party. I'll be like, I'm gonna throw myself a pity party in this bubble bath until the water like gets too cold for me to stay in here. And then when that happens, like the pity party is over and we're moving into nourishing. And what are we, where are we, are we reflecting more on this? Are we saying we're going to deal with that tomorrow? Are we tabling it? Like, where is this going to sort of categorize it so it doesn't feel like this ongoing open loop of despair?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love the way you said that because I think people think that in order to be emotionally available to yourself, that you have to sit in those feelings all the time. And I'm like, nah, you can organize too. Like you can still be
Yeah.
organized about your little minty bees. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can do it and then go, but I do also have to like live and get some things done. So like I can't live in that place every minute of every day.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of somatic work with a practitioner in Michigan, Sam Schmuck. She's amazing. She helps you use your body to connect with stored emotions. And so, like, when you've talked, all you can talk and talk therapy, like, I just felt like I had unprocessed things and I didn't know how to access them. And it's to bypass your brain and to get into your body. But she said something really that like has changed my life significantly, which is that you only experience an emotion for 90 seconds.
Yep.
Everything after that is your brain's processing of it. And so we do have control over how much of the spiral, how much we want to lean into a spiral versus like how much we want to um like make a choice on, okay, like you just said, categorizing it, or all right, let me break this apart into like how do I want to support my body in this fight or flight feeling right now versus the emotional stuff that I maybe need to like journal on or go to a practitioner or think more about. Like we can do that. We can process that.
Yeah, you have so much more control over all of it than you think. And I think that's a really important distinction because we can really get trapped in our own brain if we let ourselves. I mean, I
Yeah, our
know I
brains lie
used
to us all
to
the time.
all the time. Well, I finally figured out a way to say it because people would like, what? Especially super, someone with a Virgo placement would look at me like I was crazy when I would say that. And so I finally learned to be like, because your brain has to have certainty and it will fill in the blanks based off past shit
Yeah.
just to feel certain. It will also pick the most negative perspective because that's the only way it knows to keep you alive. So
Yeah, it's
you
trying to
tell
protect
me
you
how
from
much
the
fact that
metaphorical
is.
bear in the room, you know? So its job is protection,
Yes.
which doesn't necessarily help with expansion or if you're in a transition period of trying to up level or like
Right.
change patterns to catapult into visibility, for example, like that is so much like our mind, our body, our emotions, all of that is designed to keep us alive. Like that's our, monkey brain, our lizard brain. So
Yeah.
it's going to go off of the knowns and it's going to categorize every unknown as a bear that's going
Yeah,
to attack us.
everything. Every last thing. Speaking of that, this has been my biggest lesson in the last 2 to 3 months. When things are going good, I will have as strong or stronger of a nervous system response than when things are not good. My brain and body are pretty accustomed to things not being great. So, like, it
Mhm.
knows exactly what to do with that. We can regulate. Hope is dangerous and it's scary to any part of my being. And so I am
Mhm.
really having to learn how to be like, it's okay to assume that this is actually going to work out for you and not this thing that I just received is too good to be true. That's a big one for me. I feel so anxious inside every time I get exactly what I asked for.
Yeah, it's so true because succeeding can be as scary as failing. Because what
Yeah, it
happens when you
is.
succeed? Who's going to fall away? Who's going to judge you? Invisibility, like who's going to be a hater in a comment? Who's like what repercussions are going to happen? And again, it's because of those unknowns, right? So like
Yep.
whatever that version of success or whatever that next level is comes with real fear, and that shows up mentally, physically. That's why I did this 8-week immersion with this somatic coach. We were specifically focused on how to make my body feel safe. I love yapping, love it. I am not worried about what comments are going to come on this podcast. I love being on stage, but mentally, I'm like, okay, I'm there. But physically in my body, I would be fighting this like pulling. It felt like a pulling from the center of my spine, like it's
Yeah.
not safe, like an anchor that was weighing me down. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I didn't have a traumatic experience on stage as a child, but it's something that is stored in my body, in my DNA, and somewhere that I need to be able to move out so that I can step on stage and be sharing my knowledge and my magic with the people who need it. And so that's where the work for myself has gone over the past 6 months of like, how do I systematically do that? And I've worked with a practitioner. I've also worked with Marguerite Insolia, who does amazing. She has this cord cutting series. So energetically, like what patterns, what am I attaching to? A lot of people, when they think of cord cutting, which is when think about your magnetic field around you. We all have energy, and when we're in someone else's field, there's a cord that's created. That's my energy is talking to your energy right now, and with that's really easy concept to understand with humans, but it can happen with beliefs and patterns. It can also happen with ancestral and past lives. So, like things that have been handed down generationally. That was a huge one for me. So, Marguerite did this 4-part cord cutting series, and it was identity, beliefs and patterns, ancestral, and people, places, and things were the four, I
I
believe.
love that.
And so she goes into the Akashic records and cuts these cords. Like, I was sitting on that green chair behind me, like just chilling the whole time. But she basically like cuts those cords and cauterizes them and then gives you a protocol to not reopen. So if it's a belief, if it's, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough to be on this stage, say that's the repeating thing. I'm not good enough to be this visible. There's a protocol after to not put energy in that so that you're stopping yourself from refeeding that cord. So every time that fear comes up of like, oh, something's going to go wrong, I'm someone that things go wrong for, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
a belief that then can be cut. And then when you do that hygiene, it's sort of like, I feel so much freer. So I've leaned on a couple different practitioners to help do this, but it's been so transformative in just feeling deeply that was like the next step for me to be able to show up more for the people who need me.
Yeah, I really resonate with this, especially because Cancer's in my fourth house. And
Mhm.
in this work the last couple of months, I've just felt very called to learn to be my own best mother. So, like the
Yep.
babying yourself thing, I've really learned to coddle the shit out of myself. And I don't even have to do it as much as I was having to do it for about a month, like, all day,
Yeah.
every day, I'm like, "Honey, what happened?" Like, every
Yeah.
little thing, I was like, "Oh, baby, what you need some chocolate? What do we need?" And then also in that, becoming the safest home for
Yes.
myself. And
Yeah.
so that's where I'm coming home to every single time I feel that fear is like, I am safe. We are safe. We're safe to trust ourselves,
Yeah.
our highest selves, our spirit team, everyone. Like, we are safe to exist, and really honing in on the worth themes. Like, we were
Mhm.
born with all of our worth and value. You don't have to earn it. You've already done
Yep.
everything you ever needed to do to earn anything. And I'll tell you what, it really helped my manifesting. It really did. Because
Yeah.
if I feel like I finally worked through what the continual block was. It's like I could
Yes.
identify the belief, felt like I cleared the belief, but then I'm still living in the belief over and over every single time. Because I've said this, sorry, audience, like 1,000 times, but I want, someone new maybe listening today. And the thing is, after getting very connected to my body, started to notice how often I feel these zaps, like from my nervous system, that I'm like, wow, I know this had to have happened all these years and I never noticed. And like something good or bad will happen and my body will be like zzz for a second. And then I have to be like, oh, we're okay. What do we need?
Mhm.
But that's been really big for me is like, this is your home
Yeah.
base. It has to be the safest place for you to be, regardless of anything external of you.
Yeah. I mean, there's two things that I want to touch on there because what you were pointing out is that first there's like the noticing and then there's like the identifying, right? So noticing the sensations, noticing how you're feeling, and then being able to identify the pattern. But integration and deconditioning of that is a whole different beast. Like it does not, like, just because you've identified this is a pattern and then you're like, cool, I'll like not do that anymore. That's living
Uh-huh.
in your brain. Your body is behind your brain. Your body takes a whole lot longer to like integrate, and also like living in that and making those intentional choices to work on that pattern, it takes a hot minute to integrate. And then the second thing I think is interesting with you at the fourth house. So fourth house is home and family and your comfort zone, but fourth house is also the mother and the maternal lineage and ancestral stuff. So I have run into a lot of founders now, female founders, who were deconditioning a lot of what our mothers, our grandmothers were living, right? We're the first generation that can really like societally do whatever the F we want.
Yep.
Right? Like we are unprecedented, right?
Yep.
So whether that means if you want to have a family, if you want to run businesses, if you want to do both, like we don't have to rely on someone else to get a business loan or a credit card or a house. Like we can do whatever we want. That was not the case for earlier generations. So that is inherently scary because our ancestral line, and we store things in our DNA for 7 generations.
Mm-hmm.
So that safety was not in our ancestral line because it wasn't possible. So we are creating that for ourselves right now, which is why a lot of people refer to themselves as like, oh, we're the cycle breakers, or we're doing, all of these things that our moms didn't have to do because they couldn't, right?
Right. Right. Oh, such a good point. Yeah, and like I said, that's where my natal Mercury is too. And it's been a lot. Now, the next thing, since we're talking about visibility, it's perfect because I wanted to talk to you about this.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
So, yeah, that's why I was like, yes, because I wanted to talk about that. Okay. So, like I said, visibility has been a huge theme in my life, obviously. And, I feel like the struggle of mine personally as a Leo moon has really been the craving to be seen and understood, while it is my single most biggest fear as well. So
Mhm.
learning to be vulnerable and authentic has been quite a little journey for me, but also I was a little scaredy because my North Node's in Leo. And so I was like, with this nodal change coming up and in a reversal, I am really scared. I've calmed down. I talked to an astrologer the other day on here and I was like, expressing my fears. And then after we got off, I started looking back at what's happened during like these
Yeah.
nodes in my life. And I was like, not that bad, truly. Like, really, it hasn't. So I met my ex husband during my
Mhm.
first nodal return. Then I got a little divorce during the
Yep.
nodal reversal and started my career because I had been a stay-at-home mom. I had gotten my master's and stuff, but I'd been a stay-at-home mom, but you can't do that when you get divorced. So I started my
Yeah.
career in social work. And then my next nodal return, I started a new career working with children in the school system. And then now I'm post all of that entrepreneur life, all that. And so I'm having a reversal and I'm like, I better not have any shit with my remaining children. I'm putting that, y'all need to quit fucking with me. And then no unexpected pregnancies. Like I need none of those things. But I'm like, I have a feeling I'll work with kids again in some capacity, but like, I'm also like, I don't love working with kids that much. So I don't know. We'll see. I like talking to kids. Like,
Mhm.
in groups, but I don't love like one-on-one with kids. You know what I mean? So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm curious.
Yeah. So I think so eclipses, which is when the nodal node shift, like we get eclipses in different signs. Eclipses are the universe's like shove back on track, right? So your train doesn't go off the rails, and it's always for your highest alignment and good.
Yeah.
But it can sometimes feel like really disorienting, disruptive, catastrophic, but it's always dependent on how off of alignment you are. And so, a couple of things that are coming up with these eclipses. So, it'll depend on where they are in your chart. So, for you, it would be your fifth house. which is why there was so much with kids, because fifth house is creation. But this could very much be in your creativity and your creative expression just as easily as it was kids, right?
Yeah.
And so you can lean into that, be like, no, I'm leaning into my highest, like most authentic self-expression. The Leo Aquarius axis is all about individuality and recognition, right? And that outward visibility. So where people are going to really struggle is if they've been performing a version of themselves. If they've been putting on the masks and they've been performing it and it's been working and working, it's going to stop working. And that's going to be really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Because again, taking off a mask is scary, vulnerability is scary. And for you specifically with that north node there, it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. North node is what we are uncomfortable with, and south node is what we're comfortable with. So moving you towards it's going to be uncomfortable every single time, but it's going to be uncomfortable as a growth edge. Not it's never punishment, right? It's
Right.
never like the
Right.
lessons can feel like punishment, but it's lessons towards your what is actually better for you and actually more in your alignment. So I think I see the way of working with this because everyone's sort of going, we're now in Leo season. We've got these eclipses that are bringing us into awareness of where we've been performing, where we've been watering things down, where we've been hiding. I've spent so long literally behind the scenes building all this stuff, telling no one. I am the Grinch in that scene where he's like, solve world peace, tell no one. Like that's been me for years now, actually. But now I'm like, no, it's my time to step into visibility to be able to help people with the things that I've built. I can't be behind the scenes anymore. And that's my North Node is in the 10,000 Aries. I'm supposed to be leading the freaking charge here. Okay.
Oh
So
God.
I'm
Oh
supposed to
God.
be the trailblazing example of how
Man.
to step into it. And so knowing that, I've been doing things. I was just in a sales accelerator about how to authentically sell high ticket offers and sell and in a feminine way, not in a used car salesman way. I've been preparing for this for years. And I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm like, let's go. I've done the somatic work to make sure that my body feels okay doing it. I've done the cord cutting to make sure that the beliefs aren't there. I've done the strategic and tactical work of building skill sets that I didn't have before around how do I do this authentically. And the more you can lean into what is my authentic self, the more you actually come back to you, the easier it is to be visible. There is that final layer. I was just on a call and someone was saying, like, I realized I'm so good at sales and being visible when I was selling someone else's thing. And now when I'm selling
Yeah.
my thing, it becomes hard. And I was like, yes, I feel this so deeply. When I was in corporate America, I had no problem asking for millions of dollars to build a team. I had no problem telling like the old white guy in the corner office that he was fucking shit up and that I knew better. And like, we needed to do XYZ. No problem because I wasn't attached to it. That wasn't my soul calling. Now everything I'm doing, it's like a piece of me putting out into the world. It's my children. My businesses are my
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And that feels way scarier. But reframing that in order for me to help people, Cancer rising, I'm driven by helping people. I want to be in service of people. There's no like ulterior motive of like I'm gonna trick these people into paying me all this money. Like that's not, I'm driven by, I want to help female founders build their businesses and be in their magic. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is mission driven and that's a mission I can get behind. Well, guess what? I'm failing at that mission if no one knows that I can help them. There could be people out there that are desperately like, I need someone to help me with XYZ. And that XYZ could be exactly what I help people with. And if I'm not visible enough for them to find me, like I'm letting them down. Like, how rude of me. How rude.
Right. Right. I'm not that great at, well, I think for one thing, I've had to get very clear. I've been working on clarity for probably a year now. On like I've
Mhm.
stopped even pushing any one-on-one, and since Jake died, I haven't even like felt like the energy to do so many things. But
Yeah.
I'm glad too, because it made it obvious what gives me energy and what drains my energy.
Yeah.
So like that I've become pretty clear on. I'm still lacking some clarity on like a sense of direction. The only thing I feel really solid in right now is trust, and that I have to be okay and feel valid regardless of any external validation,
Yes.
and and like detach from the validation. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I did used to have this really bad thing where I would see experiences as either a punishment or a reward, a sign that I was doing something right or something wrong. I really assigned attributes of God that from like my religious background to Saturn, and
Yep.
constantly felt punished by Saturn, like for real. For I was terrified of Saturn transits because, well, some bad shit has happened, but still, that's not
Hard
because I'm being
lessons.
punished. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it,
hard lessons, right?
yeah,
Like it's so you
yeah,
become the master, but it's not fun going through it. You're like,
not at
why?
all.
What else do I have to learn?
No, listen,
We're
sis,
tired
I
out
have said to
here.
myself, why the fuck did I sign up for this? Because
Yeah,
there are so many great things that I'm so grateful for, but God, it is fucking challenging. But honestly, losing a kid made me go, okay, I mean, I'm up for the challenge. Like, I'm not going to go through that for no reason. Whatever I
yeah,
said I was going to accomplish here, I'm fucking doing it. So it's been a real kind of lighthouse for me and a compass to be like, I want to do what I said I was coming here to do. So
yeah.
that doesn't always make the fear go away. It does not,
No,
but it is a really good anchor for me. But I have to realize that just because I'm not seeing things in the physical reality doesn't mean I'm not doing what I should be doing or reaching people or whatever. And as long as I can detach from the applause, I think that is
yeah,
something that I'm really having to work on. And I will say this, since I've been practicing detaching from that, I'm getting more. So
100%.
hopefully that's the goal here.
100%. So, the other thing I've been doing is psychic development with people for psychic and so connecting to intuition. And part of that training is detaching from the outcome. So you cannot control the outcome, right? We
Right.
are in charge of what we're putting out there. And I like to use this visual just because it can be a little ridiculous. And also, as a manifester in human design, I am often future thinking. So when I plant seeds, they're not blooming in the fall. They could bloom 5 years from now. So I look at it as anything that I'm doing, I'm dropping a rock or a handful of rocks or sometimes a dump truck of rocks in a pond or in a body of water. That is what I am in charge of. I know that that will create ripples. I have no idea how long it's going to take for that ripple to hit another shore and come back to me. And I have no idea if it won't ever, if it'll dissipate and not make it back, or it'll come back in a friggin' tsunami. Okay. That is none of my business.
Yep.
And so that idea of like I'm not attached to the outcome, which is very difficult because our human brain loves to know the outcome and the next
Mhm.
step and everything, but being more attached to your own internal compass on what you feel is right, what you know is true to your authentic soul, your alignment and all of that, that is the key. That is your always going to be the true compass. And what I find with so many people that I'm working with is we have so much freaking input right now these days. Every time I open Instagram, it's like 5 ways to make your
Yes.
bio convert. There's
Yes.
so much external input, which makes it very difficult to feel like we're not doing something wrong, right? Because there's all
Yes.
these things you should be doing, and they all take 30 seconds or 5 minutes, and they're all $10, $30, and then all of a sudden we have all these PDFs or emails sitting in our inbox of things that we quote unquote should be doing that are someone else's strategy that actually don't connect to everything that we're doing. And that's what creates this swirl of indecision, paralysis, like not being able to move forward. And that's why everything now that I've built which none of it existed the last time we talked. So this has been like the crux of my work, is that everything that I build is based on the human behind the business. So that my main offer right now is a unbothered business blueprint. It is a 9-section Notion document that has reflection and next steps built in. It's based on your astrology, your human design, your business is astrology, your business is human design. And then I bring my 23 years in design and tech and strategy, plus my psychic channeling and my manifestor being able to hold the future vision of what you're doing into one space that becomes an operating manual. I'm not telling you a new strategy to latch onto. I'm telling you how you inherently operate in alignment so that you can remove the noise of all the other bullshit. I can't tell you how many founders that specifically in their blueprint, they've been chugging away at trying to do organic growth on Instagram. And I look at their blueprint and I'm like, you're actually meant to like show up maybe once a month in a room and like be in person and be around people's energy. And then you're meant to like go take a nap, like in between.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is your visibility pattern. Like that is where you should be showing up. Or like for me, same thing. I was trying to make Instagram work. I'm trying to do posts. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm not consistent. I operate in creative urges, rest cycles. Like
Yep.
it was going against, like at the very basic level, it was going against the core of how I operate. I also am a Scorpio moon. I love depth. I love going deep on something, way deeper down the rabbit hole than is necessary in most cases. And then I can't convey that depth in a freaking 30-second reel. Like absolutely no.
Yes.
And so like that has translated into all parts of my business. So now I do creation on Substack. And if I'm posting on Instagram, it's either a download in the moment or it's something that comes from a deeper dive that I've done on Substack or in like this conversation or in a podcast or in a webinar that I've done where I get to do that deep thinking that's so in my natural space. So I think part of it is like creating that sort of force field around that external input, right? So that you can really listen to your internal compass, but then
Yes.
also matching that with the methods and the things that actually go with how you operate, because otherwise it's always going to feel like an uphill battle. Same like we were talking about with integration. If you have the realization like, hey, this is my pattern, and then you're just trying to like raw dog decondition that with like no support, no tools, no like, where is that coming from? Is that in my body? Is that in my brain? Is that in my belief system? Like that's pushing a boulder up a hill. That's way harder than
Mhm.
being like, oh, this is in my body. I need to move it through, right? Or this is in my brain and I need to maybe see a hypnotherapist. I maybe need to rewire subconscious belief. Like there's so many different avenues to support that integration, but that like clarity to integration is a beast and there's not a lot out there helping people connect those dots.
I agree. And I think for me, it's funny because my co-host on my other show, Angie, she had the same realization about Instagram that it just drains her energy and she's not having fun with it. She dreads it every week. So she finally last week, I think, stopped. And she's
Yeah.
like so much happier because she prefers more long form writing and long form speaking, like in YouTube,
Yeah.
which I'm like, me too, because I like this. I like
Yeah.
conversations the best. Even whenever I'm doing like speaking gigs, I'm connecting it all back to me as a personal example
Yeah.
because that's what feels the best to talk about. That is why when I think about visibility, I think about doing that stuff and have definitely tried. I don't mind
Yeah.
posting my clips from my podcast. It doesn't seem to do a lot for me, but I do it because, whatever, that's fine. But like I have picked up my phone to do some of those things that like other content creators are doing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm way overthinking it. It feels like shit. I feel like a fraud. I don't want to do it. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
in me that wants to do any of that. I want to, frankly, do this and I want to be on
Yep.
more stages. Like I am
Yeah.
very clear about that. So where I had to learn my trust aspect was, um, planting seeds when I feel inspired to. And then other than that, seek out so much more opportunity for fun and joy, like outside
Yeah.
of work. That's been something that I'm feeling deeply called
Yes.
to have as much fun as possible. The inspiration will come from that, and then I can
Yep.
do whatever, but that I don't need to be focused so much on the business so much as
Yeah.
cuz like really I wouldn't mind any of the things the way they are, except like I would like a higher income. But so, I've been manifesting money just out of the blue. So I'm like, okay, well, shit. I mean, I can build my business when I don't have all this stress of
Yeah.
urgency. Like, if you want to be able to pay your car payment, you need to put this out there. Oh, shit, nobody bought it. I'm tired of creating from that place?
Yeah.
So
Joy
that's been
and
why I'm
fun
like,
has a
okay, let's have fun.
much joy and fun has a much higher frequency and much further aura than I'm doing this because I think I should. Operating
Exactly.
from the shoulds is like anytime your intuition does not speak in shoulds. Like your anxiety does, external stuff speaks in shoulds. My
That's
intuition is
so
not
good.
saying you should post on Instagram. No, my intuition is saying you should go frolic at the botanical gardens with a friend and have a cute matcha. Like that's, or like have a pool day. Like that's what
Yes.
your intuition is saying. Like, and it's not shoulds. It's like, I feel called. I feel drawn to this. I feel drawn to that. And so energetics, when you are putting something out there, whether you're doing a launch or whether you're doing, or even just talking to someone, I ran a webinar in a community that's a really good example of this. I was like, which in a room, if you were like networking, carries the conversation further? Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a business architect. Okay, cool. What you might ask, what is that? But like, that's not giving joy. That's not giving fun. If I'm like, hi, I'm Katie, and I'm helping founders build the most badass, like crazy companies that like people who combine hypnotherapy and business strategy. And right now I'm really focusing on them helping them step into visibility. Like there's energy behind that because I'm passionate about what I'm saying. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. There's joy in it. That's going to carry a lot further than like, okay, what's post 3 for this week on Instagram and what's my caption going to be? Like, absolutely
Yes.
not. Like,
Yes.
it
Thank
gets to be fun.
you.
It gets to be easy. We all get to be just hot girlies in the world doing the most fun, badass things. And if the energy is not that, then that is actually showing you that there's that resistance that is misalignment, not growth edge. Growth edge resistance is that fear. That's like there's a bear in a room. I've never done this before, but you feel called to it. So you're wanting to be on more stages. You know that that's an internal call. That is a growth edge resistance. Like, yes, it's a little scary. Are you going to have to figure out, like, where do I source the stages? Like, is there some strategy that would need to go along with it in order to be able to do that? 100%. I'm not saying, like, just be out here frolicking with no strategy and no, like, overview of what your goals are and where you're trying to go. That is going to be very different resistance than, like, oh my, I don't even want to friggin' open Instagram. Like, if I have to write one more caption, like, that's not self. That's misalignment.
Yes. Yeah, captions alone. I'm like, no, can't be me. Can't
And
be
they
me.
just
I
added that
I
thing
hate
where
this
now
shit.
you can write a caption per slide on a carousel. Like, now I have to write 20 captions. Like, no.
Exactly. I'm like, "Oh my god, good for you guys, I guess," but that does not well, and then also finding the stages opened up a lot. Opened up a lot
Yeah.
because A, there's been some rejection. B, I had to get clarity. Like, do I want any stage and form my message to fit what they are
Yeah.
asking for? Or do I want aligned stages? So that's
Yep.
been clarity too. Like, what do I actually like to talk about? Okay. That's been interesting to kind of like discover. But then
Yeah.
also what I have found in terms of creation is a client will be in need of something and I'll be like, I could probably make that for you. Like I did an
Yeah.
identity something worksheet
Yeah.
And I just made it really fast. And then I was like, oh, I'll just put this on my Patreon too. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, when it's like no thought involved, I know exactly what I want to do because somebody needed it, and I'm a generator. So I'm like, oh, somebody needed it. I'm responding to that. And now I just put it on my Patreon.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to clients as, or even, and I want to make money off shit, but like, honestly, it feels so good to help people. So like, I make it for one client, and then I'm like, hey, I made this thing, other clients, and I give it to them, and I get to
Yeah.
see, that it helps. And whatever can get you in that energy,
Yes.
that's where you're going to receive all that warm
Yeah.
fuzzy. So the shoulds, you're right. You ain't getting shit from a should, like you're just not.
100%. And then it feels like you're putting all this effort in, and then you're burning yourself out, and then you're like, wait, that didn't actually go anywhere. So it's so amazing, because what you're talking about is you're identifying your blueprint. So your Mercury is in Cancer, you're a generator, you are responding to the real needs of people. You want to be that protective crab when you're teaching, when people are learning, when you're sharing ideas, you're in your Cancer Mercury. And when you're in this podcast, you're in your Cancer Mercury. It feels like we're sitting in a living room chatting. And so that's the same thing that you need for stages, right? There needs to be something to respond to. So like, what's the topic of that stage? Like, is there like a theme for that whole thing that you can respond to? What is the demographic of the audience that you're looking at? Like, because going out and just doing a generic, this is what's top of mind right now, is not going to feel as good to you as being able to actually deliver something that helps someone in that room. And then, and that takes in the response. And again, like, this is like, 2% of your full blueprint.
Right,
But
right.
when you're activating in it, that makes sense. And the other thing too, um, and this is what I cover in Blueprint as well, is specifically, so Mercury in Cancer loves to overgive, over deliver, because it, like, you just want to be in service. And
Yeah,
so there is a line everywhere. Everyone has a line between what is free and what is paid in their world. And there are a couple signs that have a really hard time understanding where that line is and holding that line, and looking at the blueprint. That's one of the things that I include. It's like, okay, here's the free stuff that is helpful to people. Like, again, not the bait and switch of like, here's a random checklist and then here's a $7,000 program if you actually want to like help
right.
doing it. Like, that's not the thing. But it's like, okay, if you're talking about um identity, right? If you're talking about identity, maybe you're sharing for free. Here's the couple different types of identity upgrades that someone could go through. Here's common symptoms of it. Are you in an identity upgrade? That's all useful information. You're helping people with that. But then the line between that and paid is when you're introducing a framework, or one-on-one with you, or a tool, something that they like, teaching them how to fish. Anything that is teaching them how to fish is in the
Yeah,
paid category. And then again, connecting with yourself on that price point. So there's a lot of work around, pricing and stuff like that I could get into. But again, like, matching that so that, who are the people that are ready to take that leap, who are ready to commit. How many times has someone put out a free event on Eventbrite and you're like, yeah, I'll just add that to my calendar. And then that day comes and you're like, I'm not going to go. Like, I've got other things
exactly.
going on. Right. So there's maybe the awareness of, hey, that thing might be for me. But there's something about that energetic exchange of money that is like, we are now in a contract to like do the thing. Right.
Mhm.
And there's a whole change cycle. And I'm thinking of like a diagram that my therapist shared with me once. It's like, someone who decides, they're like, okay, I really need to quit smoking. My doctor told me XYZ. So there's like awareness, right? Then it's like, okay, I'm going to quit next month, or like, I'm only going to smoke when I go out, or like, there's like the negotiation. And then there's like, okay, no, I'm going to do it. And then you do the patches and you do all the things. And then you're in a good space. You haven't smoked. Well, then you go to some event and you have a cigarette and you're like, damn. And then you punish yourself and then you go back to the awareness, and it takes several times around that change wheel to actually create that integration and lasting change. And so again, having that commitment, like where is someone showing you they're ready to go deeper? And then you can then invest your full toolkit, right? Like you're going to over deliver every time. You absolutely, you just, based on your
Yeah.
Cancer Mercury alone,
Yeah.
you're gonna over deliver. Like, and so, it's a, you need that energetic exchange of money at the right point so that your motivation and is met, and like that you should be paid. None of us took a vow of poverty, okay, unless you're actually a monk, or have done that. Like,
Right.
definitely in this lifetime, we have not done that. But it is motivating, right? Like you, in order to keep helping people, you need to make money to reach more people, right?
Right.
And so it's actually in service of other people. And then you want the people who are, I always consider people in like the butterfly spectrum, right? You've got your seeds or like your eggs, you've got your caterpillars. You're working with people at a chrysalis moment when they want to transform and become a beautiful butterfly, right? Like you're going to have people in your orbit that are not ready yet, but that money exchange is one of the things that can indicate, okay, this person is ready to be in their chrysalis. Like they're committing to this, they're investing in themselves, and it feels really good on both sides.
Yeah, I think if I'm being like 1,000% honest, and I'm feeling hesitation to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think for me, I got so discouraged because I didn't know how to even become more visible for people to access one-on-one with me.
Yeah.
And because my website was pretty oversaturated, I've changed that to the bare minimum. And right now it just says
You had the Cheesecake Factory problem. That's what I call it.
it
When
was
you've got
bad.
like
It
a
was
Cheesecake
bad.
Factory menu on your website.
It was like, I can do anything you want, basically. Like, here's an option,
Mm.
here's an option, here's an option. It was really stupid. But
It's
so,
really,
I
no,
mean,
it's so common. It's so common.
it is so bare bones now. Like, but I feel really good about how ridiculously bare bones it is right now. And it says I work with people one-on-one on a limited basis because that's
Mm-hmm.
not true, but I'm not necessarily, I'm through like private practice therapy, I'm still taking clients, but like for those bigger ticket things, I just
Yeah.
have stopped pursuing it for right now because price point felt icky. I didn't know how to differentiate price points, and it just all
Yep.
of it. It was so fucking overwhelming. And then also, if I'm being 100% honest, I would feel so rejected that I wasn't getting any
Yeah.
inquiries, that I was like, I'm tired of feeling the rejection. I'm just taking it off. And when I feel ready to do this again, I will. And I know that I should, but like, it's like
Yeah.
I just haven't. I honestly, I don't even know how to market myself for that aside from having a podcast, but like I don't know what
It's
to
so
do.
common.
And so
It's
I'm like,
so common. And I think there's, seasons. So there's like, you've been in a contraction season. You're maybe moving into expansion. Being in a I will shut off services. If I'm like, I don't energetically have the capacity to do this, I'll put it on a wait list, right? That is totally
yeah.
fine. You do not have to have a static menu of all your things at all times. You can very much be like, I want to know who's interested, but like, I'm not offering this until I have capacity. So there's
Mhm.
that. And the other thing, oh my God, has come up in almost every single blueprint I've done, is the invitation. So you'll put something up, you'll be like, okay, it's on my website. It's there, people can find it. No, everyone's a vampire. They can't enter your house unless you exclusively invite them in. And so those invitations of like, hey, I have a thing that can help you. This is what it is. Here's the link. If you're not having those conversations in person, in the DMs, wherever you're having conversations, you're actually, again, like hiding the solution to someone's problem, right? So this isn't the like spam everybody with what you're doing, but if you're in conversation with someone and like maybe I'm saying something that you're like, I could help her with, like say that, right? Say, I have something that I can help you with. Here's the link for more about it. It's not
You know
trying
what
to
I
close
usually
the
do?
sale then.
I'm always like, okay, I'm so embarrassed to tell you this, Katie, but I don't have those conversations very often, first of all. But when I do, I'm always like, maybe I should just do a free thing with them.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the second piece, because most of us absolutely do not see like how amazing our own shit is, right? Or we haven't actually gone through. I wrote down literally it's on a notepad on my desk because I wrote it down 2 weeks ago during the sales accelerator. I said, I realized my issue is that I'm not blind to my skills or how good my offers are, but I'm blind to the value for other people. So I forget to tell them how good it is. And when
That's
people
good.
that price objection in your head is literally because you are not reinforcing the value of your own offer. If you're like, no, I know that this offer is this, its price is this, because that goes back to that worthiness and deservingness. I'm not saying take a 1 hour session and make it 10 grand. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But like, you can't get to the clarity of the pricing unless you understand the value of what you're providing. And your inclination is going to be like, let me give a free thing first. Let me discount it. Let me give a taste, because you don't have that clarity in your own mind of what they're getting from it or what that is
Yeah.
delivering for them, what you're helping them with. And once you can assign that value and understand that and feel it, again, it goes back to that conviction. If you can get to the place where you're so lit up by everything that you're talking about, like the value is here. You can hear it in my voice. This is why I like really like have put together this blueprint, is because it identifies literally everything you're saying. I'm like, this is why I created the blueprint. I have so much
Yeah.
conviction in what it does, in who it's for, in its value. And am I still undercharging for it? Absolutely, because it's a newer offer and I want the first people who the first like up to maybe 50, I'll keep it at this price point because I want to experiment and I want to be able to like iterate, and that's totally fine. But right now, like I know the value and I know what it delivers, and you'll always be in the like, let me give free until you're like, no, this is what I'm doing. And that helps sell it too. Like if you're not clear on like what that offer is doing, how's somebody
Yeah.
else get clear on it?
Yep. Yep.
And it comes from who you are. Like what you can list your skill. What are you good at? Okay. That's a line item in the value of what you're sharing. And I want to say again, this is literally so common. It's every single founder I'm working with is undercharging, has hard time talking about what their offer does or who it's for or how it's transformative. I'm experiencing a lot of these offers and I'm like, yo, you told me 1% of what this is. Like that somatic work I was doing, I was like, I'm blown away. You've over delivered 50 times over. I would pay 10 times the price that I paid if I only knew that this is like absolutely how you would change my life forever.
Yeah.
Like it's huge, you know?
Yes. Man, I love that. Well, I appreciate you being here so much. I think I told you I was nervous to ask you to come back on. I don't know why I do that. But I was like, well, because I was in like I've been rejected a couple of times recently. I don't
Yeah.
really want to feel that again. But I'm so grateful for this conversation. Um, Audience, before Katie tells us where to find her, make sure that you check the show notes because links to the last visit that we had with her will be in the show notes too. So, and then tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so my website has all my current offers, including the blueprint, begoodguide.com. And then I have an Instagram. I post sporadically, as I said, at Be Good Guide. And then I have a Substack called Business Unbothered, and that's at blog.begoodguide.com.
Right on.
That's
Well,
it.
thank you so much. I have loved every minute of this.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. It's so cool to hear your evolution and where you're going and how you're processing and how you're integrating. Like it's amazing.
It's wild, right?
It's a crazy journey.
For all of us, I try to remember that. Okay, I'm pressing stop if you'll hang out for 1 sec. Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.